Picture this. Picture this. It's 2016 and you're queuing for a round of quick play in Overwatch before they ruined it. Oh, great! Attacking King's Row! I love London. Oh, dang, someone's stolen Lucio. How will I get my Reddit karma now? Fine. I'll play Zen then. How did they ever think 150 health was acceptable? Somehow you're able to capture the first point despite having a Hanzo and Widow. You're sitting on the payload, alone obviously, and you start to look around. Huh. This payload sure looks funny, you say. I wonder what it's for. You take to the wiki. Oh, it's an EMP. That makes sense. Wait, what? So yeah, the goal of attacking King's Row is delivering a gigantic EMP to nuke the heart of the robot slums. The sentient robot slums. To genocide the shit out of them. Oh! If you know anything about Zenyatta, you'll know that this, how do I say it?
Makes no goddamn sense.
This phenomenon, where what's happening in the gameplay completely juxtaposes the story, has a name. Nitpicking. Wait, no, Ludonarrative Dissonance. Another non-contradictory example occurs on the Numbani map, where you deliver a payload containing the Doomfist Gauntlet to a museum for safekeeping. How do you lose with 400 armor? Thing is, Doomfist was added to the game, with his wee gauntlet too. There's nothing in the payload anymore. Still, 4 years later, and you're still delivering nothing? Countless lives lost over an empty car. But what about the converse of this? What about when the gameplay is in harmony with the story? This isn't explored nearly as often, as it's really hard to achieve, but I believe no game does it better than Extremely OK Games' Celeste. If you were pretentious, you could say, it's Ludonarrative Harmony. And it's the Ludonarrative Harmony of Celeste that I want to explore with this video. That's right, baby, we're finally talking about the game! Celeste is a platformer. It falls into the specific genre of masocore. That's a portmanteau of masochism and hardcore, so you know it's gonna be a great time. There are plenty of well-known and popular games of this genre, which kinda just proves the gamers hate themselves. Among the genre, there's the brutal Hotline Miami, the bullshit I Wanna Be the Guy, and of course, the bleak pioneer of difficulty, Dark Souls. So yes, Celeste is the dark... Shut up. Celeste is most similar to 2010's Super Meat Boy, a masocore platformer that was met with critical acclaim. Though unlike Super Meat Boy, and in fact most games of this genre, Celeste doesn't ridicule you for your failure. In fact, it does the opposite. It encourages you to keep trying. As Noel Berry of Extremely OK Games stated in a Reddit AMA, I think we wanted to make something that felt more wholesome and encouraging. There's a lot of media that isn't, and we're all just of the mindset and place in our lives where we want to see more encouraging and good feeling art, even if it deals with challenging themes. This philosophy is beautifully interwoven in almost all aspects of the game, as we'll see. But in order to actually talk about Ludonarrative Harmony, we need to, have the narrative first. Initially, we don't know much about Madeline, save that she's reserved and dead set on conquering Celeste Mountain. Here, let me fix that for you. It's on the house. This is definitely not just to cover me pronouncing your name wrong the whole time. That'd be silly. Though throughout the game, she opens up to the supporting characters, and by extension, us. As she makes her way up the mountain, she discovers her shadow. Wait, what does the game even call her? Well, she discovers Madeline, a darker side of her given form. Wait, whose skeleton is that? I know I just joked about this, but Persona didn't create this idea. It falls under Jungian psychology, which is a whole can of worms that I just know I won't be able to do justice. I hope it isn't pronounced Jungian. That'd be kind of annoying. Regardless, Madeline makes the climb a living hell for Madeline. This is a really effective allegory for anxiety or depression. In the Reddit AMA, Noel Berry stated that, we always knew the game was about overcoming something you personally set out to do, and that we wanted the gameplay, climbing a mountain, to mimic that of the player beating a hard game. But the story grew very organically. Maddie is the one who really pushed that along. The mountain symbolizes the challenges that Madeline is facing in the world. Her debilitating lack of self-esteem, common in those struggling with anxiety, her beliefs that she isn't good enough or can't do it, are personified as Madeline, who acts as a literal roadblock, making the challenge even harder than it would otherwise be. Hell, if Theo can make it to chapter 5, it can't be that hard. Ultimately, Madeline accepts Madeline as part of her, and the two begin to ascend Mount Celeste once more, highlighting that, through coming to terms with your flaws and persevering, you will reach your summit. I think that's enough metaphoring for now. So now we have the narrative out of the way, let's talk about the Ludo. The gameplay. Ludo means game in Greek. Celeste hammers home these themes in its gameplay. As a masocore game, you're gonna die. A lot. But that struggle is what makes the reward of success even sweeter. As I mentioned before, most masocore games take twisted pride in berating you for your failure. But Celeste aims to challenge that paradigm, instead celebrating your failures as important strides towards your goal. As Maddie Thorson puts it in that same Reddit AMA, we really wanted the death counter to represent the work you put in to reach the summit. So when you do reach the top, or beat a chapter, looking back at your death counter underscores the effort you put in to get to that point, and makes it that much more satisfying. We know most games use death counters in a more cynical or mocking way, and some people will see it that way here too. We're hoping to reframe difficulty and failure in a more positive light in Celeste, because that gels with the general philosophy of the game much better. I think they're absolutely right, and Celeste really excels for this reason. It's accessible to those who maybe aren't as experienced with games, or those who are but are still garbage, like me. God, I need a synonym for encouraging. Auspicious? No, that's not right. Supporting, there you go. The supporting atmosphere of Celeste is best exemplified by the assist mode option, which offers a collection of tools to tone down the difficulty without being condescending or cruel. Madeline also receives letters after every chapter, reassuring you that you're on the right track. I want to briefly mention a genius play on words here when they say strawberries will impress your friends, like bragging about completionist achievements. But no, they literally mean impress Madeline's friends at the end of the game. That's so fucking clever! Even Celeste's music isn't free of themes and symbolism. The generally peaceful, airy tone of the tracks is perfect for the game. You're gonna be hearing these tracks a lot. Hell, chapter 5 was 40 minutes for me. Making them overly energetic would just be exhausting. Lena Raine's approach and execution here was fantastic. Making music is difficult, but Lena's playing on fucking Lunatic Plus! The tracks also show a sense of progression. Chapter 1's First Steps has a somewhat naive, jolly melody, reflecting Madeline's own naivete to the difficulty of the climb. And by chapter 4's Golden, the music reflects a hardened, determined Madeline after she's faced great hardship over the previous chapters. For Golden, huh? The tracks generally start pretty calm, but pick up as tensions rise. Chapter 2's Resurrections, for example, gains more structure as you make your way through the old site. Ultimately ending in a frantic melody as the dream turns into a nightmare. The track Anxiety is literally a panic attack in audio form, and quite frankly, it's amazing. But I hate it. Another thing I love is how each instrument is symbolic of a certain character. Madeline is the piano, the versatile lead instrument, which makes sense as she is the protagonist. Theo is the warm and inviting acoustic guitar, befitting of his role as the primary support character. Oshiro is a ghostly synth, befitting of his, ghostliness? I'm stealing this from somewhere, but I can't remember where, I'm sorry. For an in-context example, Chapter 3's Checking In has an eerie, otherworldly synth as we follow Mr. Oshiro. This then takes a back seat in Scattered and Lost, as Madeline is forced to take the initiative and find her own way through the dilapidated hotel. If you want to hear more about this sort of stuff from people who actually know what they're talking about, GameScore, Fanfare, and 8-Bit Music Theory both made videos on Celeste, so I suggest checking their channels out if you want some more, nuanced takes. I don't really have a lot to add to the overall points of this video in terms of art, but it's my video, and I can do what I want. Hell, it'd be a disservice not to talk about how stunning this game is. The game adopts 3 distinct art styles for 3 aspects, and each was handled with care. For its main game, Celeste utilizes a minimal pixel art style. Celeste is fast, so the fine details wouldn't add much. If anything, it'd bog down development. This style also has the added bonus of lowering production times, letting the artists add visual flair and more life to the locales and characters through polished animations. The map screen communicates the scale of the mountain alongside the location of each of the chapters relative to the peak in a low-poly 3D style. Giving Mount Celeste form contextualizes the game and our goal, showing our progress as we tackle the climb. Finally, there's the vibrant and emotive character portraits and illustrations. It's obviously vital to bring life to these characters given how personal the story of Celeste is. Each of these styles adds something new to the table while patching the flaws of the others. The portraits make up for the literal facelessness of the sprites, and the 3D map makes up for the abstract nature of the chapters, and the simplicity of the sprites allows for quicker development of both that of the map and the illustrations. Pedro, one of the game's artists, elaborates on this at a talk at Full Indie Summit. And you can bet I felt very smart for picking up on this before doing my research. Celeste is so extra that even the dialogue boxes are personalized. Each character has their own style for text boxes, which reflects their personality. Theo's patched tartan-plated text box might reflect his laid-back, hipster vibes. The ornate border of Oshiro's box may indicate his age. Granny's twig border suggests that she, like a tree, has her roots set in the mountain. I think I just had like an internal stroke. Anyway, to bring us back on topic, when I first played Celeste, it was hard, but I didn't want to give up. I saw myself in Madeline. I wanted her to reach the summit. I wanted her to be happy. I wanted to be happy. Still never got that last one though. I'd become increasingly attached to the characters in a way that I wouldn't feel again until Persona 4. Given how short your time is with these characters, I reckon that's a testament to how well made this game is. Celeste is a game about facing a challenge. Ironically enough, it's also a challenging game. Hey look, it's the thing! But not only that, it's a game that pushes the message that it's okay to mess up. Everyone needs an assist every once in a while, especially those struggling through invisible issues like depression and anxiety. Extremely okay games are willing to be that helping hand, be it by cultivating a positive, auspicious atmosphere, soothing you through its music, or even in small ways like how the game doesn't hang on your debts, instead quickly getting you back to the action. The beauty of each aspect of this game working in tandem is only really possible with a small team of passionate, like-minded people. To blend the story, gameplay, and experience together so brilliantly is... I can't even put it into words. And I fucking tried, as you can see. Celeste is a prime example of the therapeutic potential of video games. Games can not only be fun, but can help us cope through tough times and act as a shoulder to lean on. The same can be said for creating in general. Regardless of how bad I am at drawing or making videos, I can still enjoy the process. As Maddie Thorson said, during the process of creating this game, I got a lot better at taking care of myself and working with my own anxiety. And that's where a lot of Madeline's journey came from. I don't think the reception has really helped as much as the process of creating the game has. Wait, I just realized that Maddie and Madeline are... Oh my god! The forced commodification of hobbies is a terrible pit to fall into. Hobbies are things that you can find an escape in, and you shouldn't ruin them because society wants you to fucking hustle and always be on that grind. You guys know you can just enjoy things, right? I honestly don't know how to finish this, so I guess I'll just say, Celeste is an extremely okay game. No, it's actually brilliant, go buy it now. Hey, thanks for watching the video. That's it, that's all I have. I feel like this video, even more than the OKAMI one, is very subjective. Pretty much no critical thinking goes in. Small ape brain, you get it, you know? Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe. Maybe share it with a good old pal of yours. Save it. 3 dots, you can do those as well. I don't know what those do. Let's find out. Whoa, you can report. Yeah, don't do that one. Also, comments. Tell me what you think of Celeste. Did you enjoy it? Did you loathe it? Does it make you seethe with rage? Or do you think it's just kind of a cool game? I don't know, unless you tell me. Anyway, goodbye.